Nubia has also become the company with the most Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 smartphones today. In addition to the recently popular gaming phones Red Magic 8 Pro and Red Magic 8 Pro Plus, the Nubia Z50 is actually the first Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 phone it launched on the market. This time, the Nubia Z50 has returned to the warm and moist design, with left and right edges on the front and back, and a metal-like matte middle frame design. The overall grip is still good. In addition to the two glass colors of White Island and Black Reef, Nubia has also added a new light pigmented leather material. This is the one in hand. The whole phone is 197 grams, and it is quite textured in the hand. On the Z50 light-colored back cover, the red circle on the camera decoration component is actually lower key this time. It is arranged on the chamfer of the outer ring of the 35mm main camera. Personally, I feel that the overall design is better integrated. This time, the screen of the Nubia Z50 returns to the hyperbolic screen design. This is a 6.67-inch AMOLED panel from Visionox's BM6 substrate, with a resolution of 1080 by 2400 and a maximum display refresh rate of 144 Hz. Brightness, and under external strong light stimulation, it can stimulate a higher global brightness of 684.27 nits. In terms of color, Nubia has equipped the Z50 with 3 color display modes. One is the default standard, the second and the third are bright and soft, and they are measured to correspond to the 3 modes of NTSC, P3 and sRGB. It is a standard color space, and the perception of the 3 modes is slightly warmer, 200, and the measured white point color temperature is around 6520 K. Let's look at the performance of Glory of the King, from the shallower to the deeper. The 3 modes of 60 FPS, 90 FPS and 120 FPS Z50 are all running at full frame, without frame rate jitter, and the average power consumption is as low as 2.7 watts to 3.8 watts. The Z50 equipped with Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 has stable output and low power consumption. The highest temperature recorded on the back of the phone, which is in direct contact with fingers, is 38.3 degrees Celsius, and the temperature control is okay. The camera configuration of the Nubia Z50 is quite special. The main camera does not use the wide-angle end of the 23mm and 24mm equivalent focal lengths of most manufacturers, but uses a longer 35mm equivalent focal length. This focal length is in some cameras. It is often regarded as a humanistic focal length. This special focal length attempt was actually started by Nubia since the Z40 Pro at the beginning of the year. Going back to the Z50, a 35mm main camera uses an IMX787 sensor main camera, and this time the lens also uses a new optical coating to reduce glare. The other camera is a 50-megapixel 14mm ultra-wide-angle end and 2 cm for macro. Samsung JN1 is used for CMOS. The macro or black and white camera is not used as a 3-camera imaging system to deceive the praise, but it is equipped with a flicker sensor to resist environmental strobe. Our team has also tested the objective performance of this main camera. The DR value representing the dynamic range is 12.01, which proves that the dynamic range of the Z50 camera in dark light environments is still sufficient, and the shading value that reflects the uniformity of the picture. The smaller the number of 0.4, the more uniform the picture is, or the more the edge droops in the 3D coordinate distribution map, the more serious the black border will be. The data measured in the laboratory is only a standardized objective reflection. How well the actual photos are taken and how good the photos are, we have to start with the proofs. Here we first look at the environment with sufficient light during the day. The Nubia Z50 uses a 5000 mAh battery capacity, which is matched with a fast charge with a maximum power of 80 watts. Our team charges from 1% of the power, and the actual measurement can reach 29% in 10 minutes and 68% in half an hour. It was fully charged in the 50th minute, and the body temperature remained below 37.5 degrees Celsius during the entire charging process, which was considered calm. With the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 and the new iOS 13 system interface, the battery life of the Z50 is not bad. Continue to use our 5-hour battery life model for testing, and the fully charged Z50 will eventually have 62% of the remaining power, which is placed in our entire battery. The performance of the phone that has been tested in the year is good. The whole test has a total of 10 items, and the power consumption of each item is between 2% and 6%. Among them, the game consumes the most power, consuming a total of 6% of the power. However, the highest temperature of the phone measured during the entire battery life test was actually in the previous camera item, and the highest temperature recorded did not exceed 40 degrees Celsius. Finally, we turned on the mobile network at night and kept the Z50's basic app running in the background for 8 hours to simulate the performance of sleep and standby at night. In the end, the remaining power of the phone was 100%, and the nominal power consumption was less than 1%, which was good. Nubia Z50 has the advantages that the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 flagship should have: stable performance output and good power consumption control. Although the screen and charging are not top-notch, the experience is definitely in place, while Nubia the traditional and unique cultural image advantages continue to be inherited on the Z50, and it has a good effect. Don't forget, it starts at $445, which is the lowest priced Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 phone that can be bought now, and there is no one for the time being. If you raise the budget to $885, you can also choose a version with 16 gigs RAM and 1 terabyte of storage on the Z50. What do you think of the new phone from Nubia? Write your opinion in the comments below. Thanks for watching, have a nice day and see you soon.